what can you say? Because you were easily duped. I was duped into a relationship with somebody who ultimately discarded me, and that was the goal, and that's what I've heard is the goal, and it's hard to accept. But I was duped, and I played along. 1986, I met my ex, and a month later, I'm asking her to marry me. 33 years later, she's telling me and others how crazy I was because I asked her to marry me within a month. And I was infatuated. I thought I was in love. I thought I needed this person to complete me. But what I found is misery and emotional abuse and not a real relationship. But where I was coming from, and the reason why I did, and a lot of you get involved with people like that, is because of your upbringing. And it's really sad to go there, but you need to go there to heal. My dad was a covert narcissist and basically slept around on my mom. My mom was just living with it and trying to deal with it in her own right. At the time drinking, and hers was alcohol and cigarettes. And really, as a boy growing up in that environment with someone who was duplicitous, I guess is the word. Outside, my dad's the greatest man on earth. Inside the home, just not available, like not a person with a soul. You couldn't talk to my dad. For me as a child, that made me feel anxious and I, insecure about myself, like as if I didn't have any self-worth. And that's what I'm getting to. And that's why the relationship with somebody that's codependent behavior. So people pleasing and anxious. So when you meet this person, this narcissistic person who's dealing with their own struggles from childhood, you get this sense of completeness with this person because they come from the same type of background as you. And it feels normal, and it feels right, and it feels good, but it doesn't really, because actually what your body is telling you is this is that anxious feeling, this is that person that's not available, this is that, but you subconsciously like that. You gravitate towards that. People say narcissists are out there grooming people. Well, maybe they are. They're looking for that type of person. But they're looking for that type of person to fill their needs and their desires, which is all about them and themselves. And their unrealistic, unmet needs from childhood. Similar to that with the codependent. I hope this is making sense. Your needs aren't being filled here, though. This relationship is doomed from the start. That narcissist is going to throw you away someday. Just like mine did 33 years later. 4 kids, 7 grandkids, 8 grandkids now. Use a smear campaign against you. Tell you that you're all the problem. Never want to resolve anything. It's a whole host of things. It's a sad state of affairs, and it's a sad thing. But on the other side, for me, I'm glad it's been a gift for me. Consider it a gift, my counselor said. It's a gift, and why it's a gift is because I have grown closer to the Lord Jesus in all of this. My relationship with Him. If you're in a relationship with a narcissist or an abusive person, and you staying in that relationship, it's idolatry, and it's hard to swallow, but that's what it is. And it's not a real loving relationship. This person doesn't love you anyways. Anybody that would throw you away. And once you realize that it's a commandment to love yourself, because you can't love others unless you love yourself the way God sees you. Once you realize your worth and your self-worth and your worth really from the Lord, and what it means once you get past your childhood wounds, and once you go through all that, which takes time. It's taken 4 years. It's taken me 4 years to get to this point. You'll relieve yourself of anxiety. You'll relieve yourself of looking for validation from people who aren't going to give it to you. You'll look for validation from people who will. And quite honestly, you don't really need validation from other people. You need validation from God. I do. And then from myself. And I will never, thankfully, I'll never accept that kind of behavior again. As far as the narcissist, they'll never be happy. They're never going to find true happiness. In fact, they're going to be miserable. So if you're worried about some kind of retribution for them, they really are going to live it out. And so you don't have to worry about that. God has you. If you're a child of God, God has your back. And He's teaching you a lesson through all this pain. Then we have an eternity in heaven without that pain. And hopefully this helps somebody. But that's why you were duped. Take care.